Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly. I have an 11-year-old son holding the tripod still so that it doesn't fall, because I thought I'd film outside since it's a pretty day. It is getting ready to rain though, so we'll see if it just starts storming. And you know, I have the Oklahoma wind. I do have a child trying to distract me by hitting sticks on the swing set on the other side. So hike, I almost said his name, but I don't want y'all to know his name. Actually, I don't mind if most of you know his name. It's just if a random person finds this video knew his name. Anyway, I have other child, stop that. Anyway, my children are here with me in the backyard distracting me and being crazy. So I'm going to talk about the books that I actually completed in January. There are several, so many, especially middle grade with my kids, and classics that I've started that I'm still working on, and you can hear more about those in my February TBR video. So I'm just going to only talk about the books that I completed from start to finish. There's a sword fight with sticks happening right behind the cameras, just so you guys know, in case you were interested in what my life was like. So first of all, we're going to talk about The Secrets of Chimney. I read this with Courtney Reeves, and this was an Agatha Christie, and it was so much fun. So we have a story where we're not sure who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. We don't have any of the detective type characters like Miss Marple or Poirot. And so we have, it's kind of a political mystery too. So I loved how Agatha Christie just really made us guess about these characters and what The Secret of Chimneys is. And I would definitely say this is one of the ones that you don't want to miss. I have read this before. This is a reread, and it was all coming back to me. I had forgotten the whodunit part. So it was so lovely just to reread and experience it again. Deep, interesting characters, and that's what I like about her mysteries. Good plot, makes sense, and very good characters. Y'all, if I only showed my kids on camera, you would be seeing the best stick sword fight. I usually prohibit this, but right now, thanks guys, thanks. All right, so next I read Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I'm really glad I read it, but I never want to ever read it again. And my friend Dia knew that this is exactly how I would feel about this when I finish. She knows me well. So we have Mrs. Dalloway, who is, you know, she married for the appearances and the attachment and what it would do to her socially. She was fond of Mr. Dalloway, but she's having doubts about this, thinking about what her life could have been if she'd married this other guy or even some other guy. And we have side characters that are coming in and out, and it's just all, you know, stream of consciousness happening for the whole book, which is fine. But and there's one character, Mrs. Dalloway, this book with Virginia Woolf, it is ahead of its time in dealing with what they would have called shell shock then, but we now know as PTSD. We have a character, and he's really just suffering, and it's important to talk about that. But man, this book didn't offer any hope. There was no hope offered in this book. So her writing is very beautiful. I did tell Dia, her writing is pretty, but so is mistletoe, and that's poisonous. So I don't know if I will be delving into more Virginia Woolf, even though she's a lovely writer. Dia did suggest that maybe I would enjoy some of her nonfiction, so I think I will definitely check out some of her essays sometime. All right, so what else was completed is The Last Archer by S.D. Smith. This is one of the short stories in the Green Ember world, and it focused on one of the young archers that is fighting for, they're fighting for their way of life and against these birds of prey and wolves that want to attack them. And so we get it's great to get this side character, and S.D. Smith just loves to give us truth and light, and it's just, his stories are great. Check out the Crimson Ember series, including the side stories like The Last Archer. And last, The Sword Catcher by Cassandra Clare. Now, I've read pretty much all of her YA novels. I really enjoy the series that she set that was a prequel to The Mortal Instruments. So that is one of my favorite trilogies because it had a love triangle that I could actually get behind. And I do like her style of writing and the way she writes fantasy. Now, I was very concerned about this because this is her first adult novel, and I don't really do graphic material. Although there are adult situations, it is very closed door. So we have a guy named Kai who is a sword catcher. He will stand in for the prince. There is magic involved in some of the standing in for the prince, but mainly he's there to be a pretend cousin, and he is possibly going to give his life for this guy. On the other side of things, there is like a town within the city where people who have magic, they're called ashkars, I believe, and Lynn is a healer and she has magic, and she comes into contact with some sort of magical device. We'll leave it at that. I did enjoy this. I wasn't invested in a romance. The character Kai, he had too many people that he was interested in romantically. It just kind of threw me off. It's good to have choices, I guess, sometimes, but I did not really feel like, wow, I want any of these romances to happen like she did in the Infernal Devices series with me. I usually found a romance to really ship with her, and I didn't really in this one. So the fantasy was good. It does sort of end abruptly on a bit of a cliffhanger. Chris Reviews kind of warned me a little bit of that. It's not really a cliffhanger. It's just kind of like, we're done with this story, come back later. So I liked it quite a bit, but I did not love it. So there we have what I actually completed in the month of January. Watch my February TBR to see what I'm starting, what I am still working on for the month of February, and I hope that you read a lot. Bye.